improve like some of us probably got to improve our knowledge of whatever topic that was taught yesterday. I hope we're all able to gain really wonderful insight. I've been seeing on social media, on Twitter and LinkedIn, how people have been giving back responses as to how they found the classes really important, how they've caught up on their knowledge of things, how they've gotten more and new understanding of some of these concepts. So hopefully today is going to be the same, if not better. And we have two classes today and two facilitators that will be taking us. The first being Michael, will be taking us first. As soon as you're ready, Michael, let me know. So you have the floor to start. And just a few ground rules before Michael come up. If you want to communicate, send messages to your friends, make comments, you can do that in the chats. If you have questions that you would like to be answered at the end, please leave it in the Q&A part. It's very important to separate the chats from the question and answer, so it's easy for the facilitator to focus on whatever it's needed. So, yeah, Michael, you have the floor now.
All right, thank you very much, Agbola. Thank you for the introduction. All right, I say good evening to everyone. That's for everyone joining from Nigeria though, and West Africa. And I'll say good morning and good afternoon to every other person here. My name is Michael Fajemilehin. I wouldn't even have to actually start this introduction right now because I mean, well, that's my name right now. I'm a data analyst for Atos and a senior data analyst for Atos and a lead data business intelligence analyst for MTN Group. And I mean, I don't want to bore you too much talks right now, so I'll just jump into the business of today. Actually, we have a lot to cover today, but in a short period of time, and I want to try as much as possible to carry everyone along because I mean, I don't want to assume that everyone in this training right now, I mean, everyone in this training knows a lot about data. I want to assume that there are so many people that, I mean, learning about data for the first time. So, I mean, I'll try to go as slow as I can, right? And then if at the end of this session, we are unable to take questions, you can actually reach out to me on my social media platforms. I have my LinkedIn here, I have my Twitter here. This is my email, right? I promise I'll always come through. All right, so the business of today, we're going to be discussing data preparation with Tableau. All right, data preparation. Data preparation is a very critical, how should I describe that? Critical process in analytics lifecycle. I mean, after you've collected your data, next thing you want to do is prepare your data, all right, before you go on to doing your visualization, doing your analysis and communicating your insights. And I mean, this particular process of the analytics lifecycle, it encompasses operations such as data cleaning, the data restructuring, where you do your joins and unions and all of that. And you want to ensure that you do a very great job at your data preparation, else it's going to negatively impact your analysis. And you as, I mean, a data analyst or a BI analyst, you don't want to, do a shady job at data preparation. And then, when it comes to data analysis, you get some values that are not correct. And then, you deliver this insight to your stakeholders, and then your stakeholders start wondering, I mean, what has he done? What is this? Once your stakeholders start doubting your work, I mean, that's a big problem, So today we are going to be looking at some topics here. Can you see my screen, please?
Yes.
All right. So all right. Thank you very much, Agbola. So we're going to be looking at these different topics in Tableau. I mean, most of these topics are actually, most of these terms or concepts are not native to Tableau. If you're not new to data, rather, I'm sure somehow you would have come across most of these concepts, right? So the first, we're going to be discussing data cleaning with Interpreter, a feature called Interpreter in Tableau. We're going to be looking at data restructuring with pivots. Then we'll be looking at how you can combine tables horizontally, that you can combine tables row by row in Tableau using joins, using relationships, using blending, as well as combining data vertically. That's you're appending data, you're having a data, then you're bringing another data under the data using unions, right? And I mean, I don't want to be doing a lot of this talking. Sharing PowerPoint is not my thing. So let's jump into Tableau and have some fun. Okay, I have my Tableau here. And while I'm at this, I'll be switching between Tableau and Excel just for you to actually, understand this things, because I would like to be breaking down some things in Excel. So I have, prepared some fake data here. I don't know if that's a word I should call it, just to make this easy. All right, so I'm going to be connecting to a data source. I'll be taking these topics one after the other, right? So right here, I have data. Yeah, so, pardon me, I'm going to want to open this, come across data like this. All right, most often than not, you come across, worksheets like this, where you have different types of tables scattered everywhere. You could have 3, 5, 10 different tables scattered everywhere. And you don't want to start looking through your worksheet, trying to, get the coordinates of these different tables, trying to get location, cutting these tables, having to open another sheet and, pasting into another sheet, right? So, in order to make these things easy, right, Tableau has actually, brought a feature called the Tableau interpreter. What the Tableau interpreter does is it streamlines a lot of data cleaning tasks. It streamlines and makes it easy for you to do. You don't have to do a lot of things in just one click, right? Tableau is going to make this thing easy. Do all the table separations for you, right? So this is like one use case. Another use case I'm going to show is there's another tab here where we have state data table, right? Indian states by population. It has a population of different Indian states, and we can see here spread across different columns. And this table, you can see up here, I use the title just to, format the table and make it show what exactly we're dealing with. And then the first column, we have different states, and then we have populations scattered everywhere. And right here, we have our header duplicated here, right? This is our header, then it's duplicated. What else? We have inherit here, which shows that this particular state doesn't have population for this year, and then it didn't have a population actually till this year, which could mean that it was not, it wasn't a state still particularly. And then okay, we still have one N here. So I'm going to jump into Tableau and show you how exactly the Tableau interpreter can actually do this cleaning for us. All right, I'm going to open this. I'm going to connect to the data. All right, this is the data here. All right, so we have our interface here. This is the all right, so here this is the data we connected to, and these are the sheets from the worksheet. We have the 3-in-1 table that contains all the table as I was showing you. So we're going to preview it. You're going to see. Okay, so this is the table we're looking at. As you can see, this is the first table on the far left. And if I'm scrolling to the right, you'd see another table there. But then Tableau treats all of this as a single table. You'd see nulls in between the tables. And if you scroll down, see that we have another table down here, all right? This is another header where another table starts from, all right? We don't have the time. So we don't have the time to, start going through Excel and cutting and pasting into another sheet. We want to see how the data interpreter actually can help with this, right? This is one. Then I'm going to preview the other table, the population table. Look at the population table here. As I was saying, okay, look at what we have here. This is supposed to be our header. Then Tableau, by default, it's using this as the header. This is supposed to be the title, right? So Tableau is using this as a header, and then on other columns, it's just using some, random default alphanumerics, F2, F3, down to F8, I guess. Yeah, that's right, right? To take this down, just look at what we have here. We have two sheets here, and somehow Tableau also generated 2 other sheets for us. I mean, Tableau is just trying to guess. This could be something you need, or I mean, Tableau is not very sure until we tell Tableau that, okay, do this thing for us, all right? So I'm going to let me bring in this first. Okay, this is our sheet. Now I'm going to, this is the feature I'm talking about. You can see the use data interpreter right here. All right, so all you need to do is just check this box and you see what is going to happen. All right, before I check this box, I just want you to pay attention. We have 2 tables here, right? And this particular sheet contains 3 other tables. Now, if I click on use data interpreter, look at what is going to happen. So voila, look at what happens. Tableau somehow has generated other sheet for us, right? Just leave as it is, and let's see the first one on the view, right? We have this particular table on our view, on our connection editor screen. And then you see what we have here. You can see that Tableau has actually promoted our header. I mean, it has removed what it had before as header. It has promoted the header. And then if you remember, we had duplicates. This header was actually a duplicate. But right now, Tableau has promoted this header and then deleted the other one because Tableau could see that, no, this is actually a duplicate, right? And then we had some NAs. Look, Tableau automatically turned the NAs to null, right? I mean, actually dealt with this very well. Okay, this is the first. Then, if I take this away and look at the other table we had this 3-in-1 table. Somehow, Tableau looked at this 3-in-1 table and says, oh, okay, I think I figured this out. There are different tables inside this particular sheet. So I'm going to separate this table. And that is the reason why we've actually had these different tables here. As you can see, it says it's from this particular table, it was able to coin 2 more tables or 3 more tables using the prefix 3-in-1, just for you to know where these extra tables were gotten from, right? So it says 3-in-1 table with their coordinates Excel, 3-in-1 table with the coordinates Excel. So if I drop this, let me preview this other tables. Let me take this away from the screen and look at this. This is one of the tables we have. This is the table on the far right. Okay, this is 3-in-1. This is the first table from the coordinates 1 to 049. This is the first table we viewed in Excel. And then we still have this other table down here, which is 532 097. This is the table down there. All right, so I mean, just by clicking the data interpreter, we were able to streamline a lot of data cleaning tasks we could have. I mean, gone through hoops and trying to do this and that. Easily, we've done that. All right. I mean, those are 2 different use cases. You can use this to do a lot of things in Tableau. All right. So that's about using data interpreter. So we are going to jump into how to use data pivots. All right. I have this data here. All right. So this is one of the data I clean first now. I use data interpreter to clean. All right. Something is wrong with this data table. This data table is not well structured. All right. Why is it not well structured? You might want to ask. When you're talking about having a good structure of a data table, there are some principles you actually, you should consider. One of these principles is you should ensure that the measures you have in your view in the same level of detail as your table. Now, what is the level of detail of this table? If you join the first few classes, you would understand level of detail when talking about level of detail, right? So if you look at this, what is the level of detail of this table? The level of detail of this table is states. It's the level of detail of states. But then if you're looking at these measures we have here, these measures are not in the level of detail of states, they're in the level of detail of country, which doesn't match with, the level of detail of this table, right? That is one. The measures we have are not level of detail of the table. The second thing is when you have a table, right, for you to put a table in a suitable table that is, a table that is suitable for data visualization or analysis should actually have only one field in a column. A field should not repeat itself in a column. But right here, we have the same field repeating itself in this table. This is a population field. We have another field here, which is a population field. We have another field here, which is a population field. I mean, population has actually repeated itself so many times in this table, which should not be so. And this results to what we call a wide table. A wide table is not a table which is suitable for analysis. If you want to do analysis, you want to have what we call a thin tall table, right? A thin tall table has been able to, I mean, compress a lot of things into fewer columns, right? So because we have repeated fields here, I mean, it led to wide table. And this is, if I say this is not suitable for analysis, you might actually be wondering what I mean, right? Let me open one of the sheets. And I mean, I've opened one of the sheets and probably I'm trying to ask a question, right? What is this question? I might be interested in seeing the trend of sales over time. Sorry, the trend of population over time, right? I might be interested in seeing the trend of population over time. Now, if I'm trying to do this kind of data visualization, I need some kind of fields. What fields do I need? I need year field, I need population field. But right here, if you look at the fields we have here, we don't have year, we don't have population. What we have is just population spread across different fields, which is, I mean, it's actually not nice. You might be able to use this for data visualization if you are someone who, I mean, very advanced person in Tableau, but at the same time, you won't be able to access a lot of, I mean, Tableau features, even when you're able to use this. Right, so back to what I was saying, right? I'm trying to create a visualization here of a visualization to see the population across years, right? To see the population growth across years. But I can't do the visualization here because I don't have the year field. I don't have population field. All I have is population. Everything I actually have is present inside this table, right? The year I need is present inside this table. The measure I need is present inside this table. All I need is just to restructure this table. And how do I do that? Structure this table, I'll use what we call pivot. Now, how do I do pivot? All I need to do is all of these repeated measures, I'm going to select all of them, right? I'm going to select all of them, right? Select all of them. And then I right click, and then let's pivot here. If I click on pivot, see what happens. All right, so easily Tableau has restructured my table. It's giving me two additional columns, just two columns, right? It's giving me two columns. All of those extra wide tables, it has turned them into two new columns, right? And it has changed the level of detail of my table. Now we have its country. We can know that the measure we have is the population of, sorry, I said state per year, pardon me. We have states per year. So we know that the measures we have here is a level of detail of, you know, states per year. And I mean, having seen this, we can easily just, you know, click on this and rename fields. But then we still have this field here. We need year, we don't need all this extra long text. All we need is just the year. How can we do this, right? If you click on the of this column, highlight the entire column. If you right click, you have something. I mean, Tableau has provided a lot of features here that you can actually use to, you know, do some extraction to your column. We have the custom split, we have the split. You can do a lot of things. If I use the normal split, right? Let's see what happens. If I use the split, look at what Tableau has done. Wow. Tableau has actually created, I mean, Tableau just, I mean, with its own logic, you looked at this column and think, okay, what is it I might actually be interested Yes, from the column, exactly what we want. Sorry, can you hear me, please?
Yeah, you were breaking, but I think it's better now.
Okay.
It's you are breaking.
Okay. All right, please let me know if any issues.
Okay, all right, I will.
How do you know?
No, you are breaking.
All right,
breaking.
thank you. So
Okay,
we have
it's
this
clear now.
Oh my God.
Michael, can you hear?
Okay, so we have this. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Oh, he left. Okay, I think his network is breaking off, guys. Just be waiting for him to get back. I'm sure we'll be back anytime from now. Yes, Francis, do you yeah, so for all of us that were asking for the data set, it will be available. All you need to do is just try to pay attention as much as possible. Then you'll be able to get the resources and practice with the recorded video. So that shouldn't be an issue. Yes, someone's raising a hand. Francis. Yes. Okay. Guess not. So we'll just be waiting for Michael. Yes, you would be getting the recordings the same way you've gotten the recordings like all through so far. You'll be doing that. Let me reach out to Michael, see if there's any issue. Okay. The data set is yes, you are connecting to Excel, so you can do it in Tableau Public. So most recordings have been coming through mail. You should check. There must be a reason why you've not gotten it. So I'm sure like several other people have been able to get it. So, oh, really? You should check your spam also at the same time. Or you can send me a message like via my social media. No, yesterday. I don't think yesterday is available yet because just yesterday. So, but I mean for last week, you should have gotten it. Idris, if you want to take control, let me try to reach out to Michael to see what's happening.
Okay. So
All right, great news. Michael is trying to reconnect. Sorry, guys, when Nigeria, we know how it gets here. Sometimes things are great, sometimes things are suddenly not great. So that's the problem. Okay. As to those that haven't gotten, you will get the video for yesterday class, I'm sure by the end of this week. In no time, you would surely get that by the end of today's class. So no worries, no difficulties in regards to if you would get access to the videos. They're going to be available for everyone that attended the class to be able to follow through and try to practice by yourself personally. So in the meanwhile, do not forget, if you have questions regarding the class, please drop them in the Q&A. So the person that is teaching, the facilitator, would be able to pick up from there and answer your questions by the end. For the first class, all recordings have been sent via mail. If you've not gotten yours, that means there are a few technicalities regarding that. But it will be solved for sure. It will be solved for sure. Just have to pay attention to what's happening. You can also send me a message like via Twitter, like to let me know if whatever it is in regards to like the recordings. That's if you've registered for it, which I think you should be getting mails. And if you are not, then that's something. So we're just gonna wait for Fisayo like for the next 3 to 5 minutes. And if it's not here, then maybe Idris will like just pick up with his own part of things rather than delay the entire thing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, iShat, you can view it. It's available to be viewed like on YouTube through the link. Sent to only those who registered. Sorry. The link was sent to everyone that registered through the mail. If you've not gotten it, just reach out to me like on Twitter and all, so we can identify your issue as long as you. So yes, also that could also be an alternative. to catch up with the old videos. I wish I had some music to play while we're waiting for him. Unfortunately, I don't think I do. So, but yeah, if you have any concerns, like I said, you can reach me. Like I dropped my Twitter handle. Just reach me and we can try to solve them. So I don't think there should be so many issues, by the way. As long as you've registered, if you're not getting the link, like as a mail in your inbox, then I just like few technicalities involved in that and try to resolve that together. Idris, in case Fisayo hasn't joined in the next like 2 to 3 minutes, maybe you'll pick up from your end and
Okay.
you will start. So he's still experiencing network issues. He said he's using 5G, but Nigeria is Nigeria in him. Yeah, she's fine. Everyone is fine.
Okay. Maybe I can just start my own class. So before I'm done, maybe it'll be back. How about that?
Yes. Yeah. You can kick off. Yes. Oh,
Okay, it's back.
it's back. Michael, can you hear us? Can you confirm if you can hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Well, I'm very,
Okay.
very sorry. I've been trying
Okay.
to.
The word is on your is waiting for you.
Hey, I'm very, very sorry, guys. I'm very, very sorry, guys. So I'm going to get back to reconnecting now.
Yes.
Resharing my screen now. Yeah.
So please try to share your screen and I will let you know as soon as we can see your screen.
All right, please confirm you can see my screen.
Just a minute. Yes, we can see your screen and you are good to go. You have the floor.
All right, great. All right, great. Very good. Thank you very much. So back to where I was. Right now, so we have from this particular column, we've been able to derive the two columns. Through splitting of this column. All right, but there's still another way we can do this, right? Just in case Tableau does not fetch this for us, right? I come back here. Just let me know in case you can't hear me well. So if I right click on this particular field, I can use create calculated field. But we are not here yet. If you're used to Excel functions, you might just know how to use the main function where you can select the what's it called, the string you want. Then from here you can detect where you want to where you want to extract your string from, or you want to extract value from. So if I count, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I think that's 13. And it says what's the length of my string is 4. Let's see this. Right, so from this we've been able to fetch a new column. We can go ahead to hide this by right clicking. Since we don't need that again, we can right click and then we can hide that and rename this to be the year. Easily we've cleaned up this, and then we can go into Tableau and answer the question you wanted to answer. So now we have the year. We can go further to change the data type to date. All right, then drag it to column. We have the different dates, and then we can use our population here. And then we have a line chart that shows population change over the years. Right, that's about using pivots in Tableau. Go now, please confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. No worry.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. So this is about. I'm with you.
Yeah. Someone is talking about like you taking the pivoting again, how you do the calculated field and stuff like that.
Okay. All right. No problem. I'm going to go back there. Actually, we are not in calculation. We are not at the point where I think there's a session for calculation, but then I'm just since this is somehow similar to use of formulas in Excel, right? So this is the field we want to format, right? We want to extract years, and we can easily just right click on this, come here, create calculated field, right? And from here, we can use what we call the mid function, right? So the mid function, if you look there's a description of what the mid function does here. Coming, there's a description of what the mid function does. It says it returns the character from the middle of the text string, giving a starting position and the length. Right. So this is the string. From here, if I use the mid function and I'm looking at the italicent, the first thing it says I should select the string. Right. The string we're looking for is the pivot field. If I type the pivot field, I select the pivot field, comma. It says where am I starting from? Right. I'm starting from this one. And since the position of years are consistent down the column, I can just say, okay, starting from 13, how many are we counting? The length is 4. You can easily follow the italicent and then apply. And easily it has given us the year. All right,
Michael,
that answers your question, right?
Your network is lagging little by little. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But yeah, it's still going. You can still hear me. Yeah.
All right, great. I'm using 5G. I don't know what the problem is today. Okay, so that's about using pivot tables, right? So I'm going to do a quick rundown through this is my sorry, I've not been sticking to my PowerPoint, to my slides, all right? So we are going to be talking about how to combine data in Tableau, right? There are different ways you can combine data horizontally. Right? When I'm talking about horizontally, you're trying to bring in two or more different tables, trying to combine them side by side, right? You're trying to combine them row by rows, right? So one of the ways to do that is using join. Join is one concept which I'm sure a lot of you are actually very familiar with, which is a technique of horizontally combining data side by side, right? And for that to be possible, the two or more tables that are involved needs to have something we call a common field or a common column, right? This is the basis on which these tables are going to join. And we have different types of join. We have the inner join, the left outer join. Here we have the left outer join. We have the right outer join. We have the full outer join, right? So, like I was saying, I don't want to assume that everyone is actually familiar with this. So I'm just going to do a quick run through of all of these things, right? So when we are talking about inner join, we are trying to combine two tables where the records of one table actually match. We are trying to retain only the records of one table that matches the record of the other table. So from here, you can see that Paul matches with Paul, Mike matches with Mike, Idris matches with Idris, Abisola and Bola, they have matches on the other sides of the table, right? But we have Chidi. Chidi doesn't have any match here. Adekola doesn't have any match here. So does Godfest and Okafor doesn't have match on the other side of the table. So we are retaining only this part of the table that matches with this. All right, that's about inner join. When we're talking about left outer join, right? Left outer join looks at this left table. It picks out all the matching columns, all the matching rows and rows that come out on this side of the column. It matches it with only matching rows from this other table. So here we have all of the records here retained, but only matching records from this other side of the table. Right, and for left outer join, it is the opposite of right outer join is the opposite of left outer join, where we have all of the records from here retained, but only matching records from here retained. Right, and we have full outer join, where we have matching records from both tables retained, non-matching tables from the left table retained, and non-matching records from the left table retained. Right, and the characteristics of join, when I jump into Tableau, I'm going to show you how actually work. So we're going to discuss points right now. We're going to close this. I'm bringing a new data Tableau. I have this data I use for this session. Okay, it's a bootcamp data, right? The data is right here. So it's loading. Okay, so I have this bootcamp data here. So when I'm talking about the concept of join, right, there are different ways of combining data in Tableau, you can use join, you can use relationship, and you can use data blending, right? For you to understand the concept of join, the concept of relationship, there are also some other concepts you should understand in Tableau, which are the concept of logical layers and physical layers, right? So join occurs in the physical layer, while relationship occurs in the logical layer. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to break that down in a second, right? So if I bring in, let me say I bring in book, right, to this canvas here, which is called the connection editor. If I bring in book to this canvas, the book is sitting on what we call the logical layer. This book is sitting on what we call the logical layer, right? Then this logical layer is made up of physical layers. It's just like human, right? What you can see from the outside is the logical layer, but you are made up of what we call physical layer. Your physical layer is a combination of different things inside different systems. You have the central nervous system, you have the skeletal system, the reproductive system, digestive system, different systems. So for this table to actually be here, it is Tableau, it is designed it to be made up of other tables on the ground, which are called the physical layer, right? Now, if I over this particular table, it says double click this logical table to see the physical table, right? So if I double click this, it takes me somewhere else, another UI, right, where join actually occurs. This is where exactly we do join in Tableau, right? So join, if I should describe join is the coming together of two or more tables to make a single table, right? So for a join to occur, two or more tables will come together, and those two, three or more tables come together to form a single entity. That is the reason why we talk about the concept of physical and logical layer. So under this physical layer, we can do a lot of, coming together. Like I said, you have your book here, and then you might want to combine your book with another book. Probably want to see the information of your book, right? You have the preview of your book here. You might want to, have more information of about your book. Then you drag this here, right? You drag it here, and when you drag it here, you can see that you can select different types of join here. And then before you even select different types of join, right, you need to identify the common field between these two tables. It's like a man and woman coming together, right? In a marriage, when they come together to become one, and then even before they become one, right, there should be something that interests both of them. That interests both of them is what we call the linking field. If I should link it with the constant, is what we call the link field. So right here we have what exactly is common in this table. I've seen this table before, probably happened. I'll say what is common with authority and here okay, so here it is actually a little bit tricky. Now, come on, hear me, please.
Michael, it's breaking. I don't know, like it's breaking slightly, but it's better. We can hear you, but
how long has that breaking? Is that good now?
Yeah, I think it's that better now. Yeah. Please in the chat, you can let us know how
okay. So
from your end, yes. Yeah, please continue. I will let you know. Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you. Right here we selected link field from the left side of the table. This is the left side of the table. Now we want to select the linking field, the right side of the table. Right on the linking field is ready. I want to select the linking part of the table. We do that because here we have here it's like two different fields of the
Michael,
here.
Michael. Hello, Michael. It's really, really difficult to hear you now. Do you think Idris should start his part and then you can now come in after Idris is done? Maybe it will be better by then. Michael, can you hear me? Michael? Okay. Yeah, Idris, if you can just pick up and start from your end. So I hope that by the time you are done, Michael will be way more settled. So you can just pick up from here, and from now to 6:30, so you go up with an hour. So yeah. So everyone, Idris Makilakwa will be taking his own session now, and Michael will be joining in after Idris is done. Hopefully we can resolve some of these issues before then. And yeah, so Idris, the floor is yours.
Yep. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Idris. Akidapa, and today we're talking about our time series analysis. Yep. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Idris, we can see your screen.
Okay. We've talked about the time series analysis. We're talking about the reference line, dual axis, combined axis, and forecasting. So that's what we're going to be talking about. And most of the time today, we'll be doing everything on Tableau. So I don't have much of presentation to do. So now, if you hear about time series analysis, it's something that deals with time, date related. So anytime you have a date, I want to do any analysis on date. It means we want to do a time series analysis. So it's just like getting data over time. Maybe you have data from 1990 till 2023, and you want to know the growth of sales from 1990 to 2023. Like you are doing a time series analysis. So that is what it means by time series analysis, and it is used in a lot of industries, from finance, retail, economics, and stuff like that. And we have a specific chart that we use for time series analysis. We use line chart and area chart. That's what we use a lot for time series analysis. But there are other charts that we can use, but the first option is just line chart and area chart. So now let's just go into Tableau. Yeah, I'm using the Superstore data set that we have used since the beginning of this class. I think we all have that data set, the Superstore. Yes or no?
Yes, they have the link, but I'm going to post the link again in the chat so you can keep on with it.
Okay, maybe I should wait a bit so that you can get it.
No, just keep going. I already sent it last week, so they will get it. Just keep going. Don't worry, they will catch up. Yeah.
Okay. Come in. So now, this is what we call area chart, and this is what we call a line chart. So, okay, let me just duplicate this and we do this from scratch. So maybe we want to see the sales over time from the beginning of our data. The data start from January 2020 and stops at December 2023. So, and we ask that, okay, what is the trend in sales from the beginning of the opening of the shop, maybe a supermarket? What is the beginning of this? Well, we want to know the trend of the sales. So, and that's to show the analysis. So, as I said earlier, we are doing time series analysis, which means that you really date a lot. We are working with dates. And we have other dates. So other dates is just like when our customer comes into the stores and they order something. So, and each order has their own order date. So you can just drag your order date here and take your sales to those. Yeah. So now we have what we have here. And I think yesterday, John talked about Bella talked about discrete and continuous. So now let's talk about it. So we have year, we have quarter, we have month, we have day, we have month. We have another year, we have quarter, we have month, we have week, we have day. So you might be wondering, why is there repetition in stuff like this? So the first one, from year to year, it means discrete dates. From this option to this option, sorry. From this option, from this year to year, it means continuous. So now, let me show you something. If you click quarterly now, you have Q1. Now that in a year we have 4 quarters, we have Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. So now, let me show the second quarter. Let me show this one. You see, we have Q1 for 2021, for 2020. We have Q2 for 2020. We have Q3 for 2020, and we have Q4 for 2020. Same thing for the remaining years. That's the difference between what discrete and continuous. For discrete, it's like giving you the summation of everything at once. But continuous, like you break it down for you. So let's click on months. Let's check. We have January. This January now is like the summation of all the sales in all the Januaries in your data set. That is from January 2020. Plus the sum of sales of January 2021, the sum of sales of January 2022, the sum of sales of January 2023. So that is for this January, and for February till December. So maybe you want to see the breakdown of months per year. So that's when we have to use your continuous month, which is this. It will give you like all the 12 months for each year. So we have January to December 2020. And we have January to December 2021. We have January to December 2022. We have January to December 2023. So that is different between discrete and continuous continuous dates. So as I'm switching, you will see this color. Let me go to month year again. You see that this one has changed to blue. And we know that anything that is discrete is always blue pills. And anything that is green is what? Continuous, which is measured and stuff like that. So once you click on this one, you have your green. So that's how you can differentiate if you're in the discrete level or a continuous level in Tableau. So more example is, if you click on day, know that in a month we have 31 days. Click on it. These are all the days. So if you click on the continuous day, it will give you the breakdown, the daily, this is the daily sales from the beginning to the end. So now let's build our area chart. So to build our area chart, we have two ways. You can go to this mouse card and click area here. Or you can use the show me button here. And for now, I won't be using the show me. So you can click on here, go to here and click on area. Maybe you don't want to use the area chart. You can click on this one, and you want to use your line chart, you can click on it. You have your line chart. So that is how you can switch from area to line chart. Very simple. And there's another way you can still build your line chart. You click on this part, you have some options, and if you click on this one, these are other types of line charts. These are another type. But we use this one a lot. So that is how you can build area charts and how you can build line charts. And I have talked about continuous, which is this. I've talked about the continuous time series analysis and the discrete and the continuous also. So any question about the continuous time, discrete time, line chart, or area chart before I go to the reference line?
So for now, no questions in the Q&A. So I think you can go on. If you have a question, please drop it in the Q&A, so I'll be able to pass it across to Idris. So Idris, please, you can go on. Yes.
So okay. Now let's go to the one called about reference line. Reference line is just think about, okay, maybe you are working in a company and you are like, okay, they have a target that you have to meet. Maybe you are a sales rep now. You have like 4 sales rep in a company. You are like, okay, for each sales rep, you have the target of sales that you have to meet for them to pay your salary. Like, okay, you have to sell like 2,000 goods. So that's when you have to use your reference line to let them know, okay, in your analysis, let them know, okay, if you meet the target. So now, yeah, so let's view this. Okay, let's view this. Let me just duplicate this. Let me just clean it. So now, and in this data, I know that we have subcategories, we have categories, we have sales, we have profits. So maybe then I ask you that, okay, we want to see the sales for each subcategory. So you have to build your bar chart, online chart, anyone. So subcategory by sales, right? I don't want something like this, I want something like this. You can just click on this one to change between horizontal and vertical bar chart. So, and they want to know that, okay, they want to know which among of this subcategory has the average sales. Maybe they ask that, okay, the average sales is 200. So, and they want to know which among of this subcategory is sold above the average sales. So that is when you have to use what? That's when you have to use your reference line. to let them know if this one has passed the average or not. So to do that, there is a page here. You see this one is data, you see that analytic. So if you click on it, you see constant line, you see average line, you see all these things. So now just drag your average, just drag it to table here. Just drag it here. You see? Tableau will calculate your average automatically, the average of the total sales. Tableau will calculate it for you normally. You don't need to bother about that. Tableau will calculate. Once you drag your average line, once you drag it here, Tableau will calculate it for you. And normally you can see that some subcategory pass the average and some didn't pass the average, like appliances now is below average. Arts is below average. Bookcases is below average, and envelope, fastener, furnishes, label, paper, supplies. And you can still format this line. Just right click and go to formatting. Okay. You can edit this line. Just right click on this line and edit. So you have this kind of option. So you can change this line to maybe dash and change the color and stuff like that. So let's do something now. You know that for this one now, for you to know which one passed the average or which one didn't pass the average, it's very hard to know because you have to be like moving on it to know, okay, this, and this. So which means that you can help your viewer to know which one passed the average or not using color. So let's just build just a little calculated field. We are going to talk about calculated field next week in the next class, calculated field and stuff like that. Let's just build a calculated field. So to create a calculated field is very simple. Just click on this drop down here and create a calculated field. So we want to know what we want to do now is we want to color the subcategories that are below and above the average, right? So let's just name this one above.
So Idris, you have 3 questions. Before you go too far. So the first question is from Jennifer. Is it possible to have months for each year with 4 lines representing each year rather than it being continuous?
Yeah. It's possible. So let me just do that. Okay. So like this. Let's go to this one now. And once you do something like this, you see?
Yeah. Thank you for that. Second question. Please, where did you open the analytics pane from?
Yeah, at the top left, you see data, you see analytics. See?
Great, fantastic. Then the last line, please, what is the constant line used for?
Oh, I'm going to read that. I'm going to read that also.
Okay, thank you.
So
great.
now,
you can keep on.
Yeah, so now I just want to create a calculated field where we want to color the one that's above or below. So let's just quickly do that. So this might be confusing, but we're going to talk about calculated field in the next class. So let's just quickly do that. So above or below. So want to show which one sum of sales. Let me just when you click sum of sales, just don't worry, everything will be clear. If sum of sales is less than, so now I'm going to use something like called window. Window is just like, give me the window average. The window is just like what you are seeing here, you are seeing the view here. Give me the average of everything here. That's what we use window for. So give the window sum, window average of sum of sales. So this is it. So just press OK. You have something like true or false. We call this thing Boolean data type, true or false. So you can just drag this one and drag it to color. You see? Anyone that is below the average are true and above the average are false. So you can, without hovering on anything, you can see anyone that is orange is below average. Above, the one that is blue is above what? Above average. We are using the reference line and we are using color to help our viewers to know what is going on here. So now let's go on. So now, this is what I just did, is below and above. So that's it. So now we have options. Know that when I want to drag something here, I have table, I have pen, I have cell. So you might be wondering, what's the meaning of that? So let's just do that. Just remove. So maybe you want to find the average sales of this category. Know that we have different categories. We have furniture, we have office supply, we have technology, and we have each subcategory inside each category. I want to know the average of furniture. We have to know the average of office supply. We don't know the average of technology. So once you click on your average and you drag it here, just put it on what? On pen. You see now, if we compute that average based on each category, given average for each category. That's it. You might be wondering, what's the meaning of cell? Let me remove this. Drag your average and put it on cell. You see the difference. Cell is just like each bar. You should calculate the average of each bar. So the average of chair is still this, because like maybe when you have like something like 1, average of 1 is 1. You understand? So average of this is still this. So how Tableau calculate average is just like summation of all these ones divided by the number of entries. So we have what? We have 17. We have 17 subcategory, and we have what? The total sales of 2 million. So if you divide 2 million divided by 17, you will get this average. So that's how Tableau calculate the average. So guys, we have talked about table, we have talked about pen, and we have talked about cell.
Okay, so let's take 1 or 2 questions, Idris. So the first question is it right to add a label to the average for more clarity?
Yeah, you can do that. Sorry for not touching that. So let's do it. Let's do it for this. Okay, let's do it for this.
Yeah, and then the second question would be if you could quickly touch on the calculated fields again.
Okay. So let's just, if you want to edit this average line, just over on it and right click. You see edit. You see options. You see label, computation. What do you want? You want values. You want to show the values, right? You see. And you can even use custom. When you use custom, which means that you can put anything here. You can just write average sales so that they can understand what is going on here. So you can just click on this and put in your value like this and press OK. You see? That's it. So the question about the calculated field, which is this. So what this means is just like the sum of sales, that is sales of this. This one is what? 335, right? If it is less than the total overall average of this, let me go to this place. Okay, let me use this one. This one, where is it? Okay, let me use this. Let me just use this one like this, and let's do something like this. Where's my color? Put it here. So now, this one's supposed not to be here. So now, let me edit this and put my value here. Yeah. So now, our overall average is what? 136, right? Let me show you this. So what it means is just like sum of sales. That is sum of sales of this bar is what? 165. Is it less than 136? It's not less than 136. That's why we're having false. For this one now, sum of sales is 108. Is it less than 136? Yes. That's why we're having true. So this window average is just giving you the overall average of the entire thing. So that's just it. Okay. Hope no question again.
You can go on, Idris. Yes.
Yeah.
For now.
So now let's talk about constant line. Let's talk about constant line. Constant line, we use constant line for something like target. Maybe you're working in a company, in a retailer company, and they are okay. They want you to show the the trend of sales over time from beginning to the end. And they want to see maybe you have a target that is in each month, you have to make 50,000 sales for each month. And they want to know which month is below and above that target. So that's when you have to use your constant line, because it's not really moving. That's a constant thing. So now let's do something like, let's do this. Now put your order date here, put your sales here, you have your line chart automatically. So click on this one to change the orientation. So, and I want the continuous months, something like this. And they after that, okay, they want to see the months that has that's lower that is lower than the target and higher than the target. Normally, they can easily see like this by hovering on all these things, but it's like you're giving them more job to do before they can see what is going on. So, and that thing is not good. So, which means that you have to click on this one and click on what? Constant line. So for this constant line, you can choose to be on month, on sales. But what do we want? What do we want to use this for? What do we use for what? For our sales, right? Just put it on it. Then you can input your constant here, 50,000. Yeah, so that's it. So you can see that, okay, this one is less than the target, less than target, less than target, less than target, less than target. So that's it. That's how to use constant line. Use constant line for target that is not moving. So I think I've talked about this. Yeah, any question? No question.
Yes,
so now,
please.
yeah, let's talk about ban. Ban is like a reference line. Just think ban as two reference line. Two reference line that you have to color the middle of the distance between that two reference line. Maybe, like I said earlier, maybe you have target. The target is you have the minimum target and the maximum target. Maybe the minimum target for your company is 20,000 and the maximum target is 70,000. And they want to know what which year are in this target, like that met this target. Maybe below or above or met that target. So that's when you have to use your ban. You can still use your constant line also. We're going to do that. So let me just clean this and do it again. So now, same thing. Like this. Yeah. So your band, this is your band, reference band. Drag it to what? To sales here. Okay, you have something like this, right? So then first of all, your constant. This one is from what? This one is the minimum. Band from your minimum is maybe let's use 20,000. Okay. Your maximum, which is a constant also, let's use 50,000. You see, this is it. Let's edit it again and let's make it more interesting. So now let's just use the values. Let's use values, the label, and you can decrease this, something like this, and the line you can make it dash, something like that. So that's how to use ban. Very simple. You have to let the ban know, okay, this is your minimum value and this is your maximum value. So Tableau will compute everything for you. So now let's use constant line also for that. You can use constant line also. Let's use constant line. Same thing, you want to achieve the same thing using constant line, 20 and 50. So let's clean it again. Other dates, continuous months, your sales. So now if you're using your constant line, you have to bring in your constant line 2 times. Drag it here and write your what? 20,000. And again, write your what? 50,000. Yeah, that's it. But you can't color the what? The distance apart. So that's different between what? When you are using the constant line or you are using the band. So which means that the band is more preferable if you have the minimum and maximum thing. So a question is here. Okay, I should go over the constant band again.
Okay. All right, yeah.
Yeah. So let me just remove. Okay, let me just remove this one now. You can remove it. You can remove it. So now just drag your reference band, drag it here because we want to do it for sales, not for this. Just for sales, just drag it here. Then you have to let Tableau know your minimum and your maximum. Now, because the minimum sales here is this, and the maximum sales here is this. That's why Tableau colored what the entire thing. But we want the constant, so we have to use your constant thing. Constant and input your values. 20,000. Okay, we'll just edit it again. Edit and constant again. 50,000. So that's it. You can just edit it again, and maybe your line can be dashes, something like this, and you can just reduce the color so that you can see it very well. So that's it. So again, we have something we call dynamic reference line. You understand? Maybe the targets, yeah, maybe the targets of the company, it tends to change. Maybe today we can have, okay, the minimum target is 20, the maximum target is 30. Tomorrow they can change the target to 40, 50, something like that. You can easily do that. Rather than creating the reference line over and over again, you can automate it by using something we call parameter in Tableau. We are going to touch parameter also. We are going to talk about parameter, how to use parameter also in the next class. So I just want to use it because I need to use it now. So now, maybe in your company, they ask like, okay, the minimum sales can be 10,000 today and 30,000 for the maximum can be 35,000, and tomorrow is 20,000, stuff like that. So let's do it dynamically. Yeah. So now, to do that, put your order, just create your time series again, and put your sales also. Yeah. So now let's put in our constant line. Yeah. Right. So let's edit it. So now to do that, okay. Okay. From here you can change from constant to anything. You can change. So I can change to average now. So let's click on average, and you can create. You see, create a new parameter. So you can name this parameter. Once you click on that, you have this window. So let's just name it what? Max, because I have one already. So that's why I have to use 2 A's. And I have click on all so that you'll be able to input the value that you want by yourself. So this is it. This is max, right? So now, let's do the same thing again. You can put your average in a constant line. No, Tableau doesn't care. Edit again. Create a new parameter. Mean. Right? Or and press OK. So you see now we have 2 lines on top of each other, right? So maybe today now they are like, okay, the minimum target is 10,000. And the maximum target is what? Is 40,000. You can just type it there. That's it. Maybe next month they can be like, okay, the minimum target is what? Is 20,000. You can just put it there. 20,000. And the maximum target is what? Is 60,000. That's it. That's how to use what? That's how to change your reference line dynamically without creating your reference line over and all over again by the power of what? Parameter. So any questions about the dynamic reference line?
Questions, please, Idris, you can move on.
Okay, no question. So now, there's something we call dynamic scatter plot also, something like this. You see? something like this, where you maybe they ask you that, okay, you have list of, okay, I think I have a question. Shola, which reference line, is it the dynamic one or the, okay, can I use the, yeah, I think you can use dynamic for band also. Let's check that. Yep. So now once you right click here, so you have to change it to average, right? And select what we have done before, maximum. Okay, this one will be minimum, right? This one will be minimum. And change it to average also, and click here, minimum. Okay, this one will be maximum, rather, max. Yeah, that's it. So you can show your parameter. This is the max. Just click on it here, show it. Your min also, show it, and you can input. That's it. So you can use band, you can use dynamic band also, and you can use dynamic reference line. So it depends on what you want. So
Idris, you
okay.
can keep going on so you can attend to the questions when you've moved forward. Yeah.
Okay. So now we have maybe in this data we have subcategory, right? We have subcategory. So maybe in your company now, you're working for this company, they ask you that, okay, they want to see the sales and profit for all the subcategory, and they want to see which subcategory has more sales and more profit, which subcategory has less sales and more profit, which subcategory has more profit and less sales, something like that. We have for here. We have more sales, more profit, because this is profit by sales. Now we have plotting a scatter plot. So as you're going to the right, it is what? More sales. Going to the left, going to the right is more profit. Going to the left is what? Less profit. You're going up, more sales. Going down, less sales. So this one now has more sales and more profit. This one here has just this kind of sales and is like the profit is minus. So now they want to know this subcategory of goods that fall into those 4 segments. You can use this reference line. You can use colors to do that also. So that's why you have to combine color. You have to use reference line so that it will guide your audience to know what is going on in this particular visualization. So now let's do that. Let me just clean this. So now they want to know, they ask you that, okay, they want to, in our subcategory, they want to know which subcategory has more sales, less profit, more profit, less sales, less profit, therefore. So now let's do that. Because you are comparing two measures together. And if I can remember, GB talked about it when he was talking about discrete continuous and stuff like that. So where you want to compare sales and profits together, you are doing correlation analysis. So you have to bring in your profits to column, sales to rows. Anyone, you can switch it. You can switch something like this. You see, as I'm switching it, this one is going here, this one is coming here, based on what you want. And you want to drill down to what? You want to change the level of granularity from here to what? To subcategory level, right? So just drag the subcategory and put it to details. You have something like this, right? So now, how are we going to know if this one is more sales, less profits, or this and that? Maybe your company give you a target. For a product to have more sales, it has to have this amount of profit. For a product to have more sales, it should have this amount of sales. So maybe let's just do like, okay, for a product to have more sales, it means that it should be above 150,000 sales. Stuff like that. So let's do that. So now we're going to use a dynamic line. Just bring it here. Okay, for sales first. Edit. So I have created the parameter before. The min and max, just the same thing. Yeah, I have the sales. I have the sales here. Just how I created the parameter of sales and stuff like that. So, again, for profit also, this is it. I don't want average. I want for profit. So let me just show the value. Yeah. Let me just show the value here also. So just the how I created the parameter min and max. That's what I did. So it's very simple. So this is just the parameter. You have it here. Just show it. Yeah. So now maybe the target is for more sales, it should pass or equals to 100,000 sales. For more profit, it should pass or equals to what? 10,000 profit. That is the target right now. So now this is it. These are the four sectors. All these ones are what? More sales, more profits. This one is what? Because this one is the reference line for profit now. This one is below the line. This one is what? Less profit, right? And what? And more sales is above the reference line for sales. This is it. This is the reference line for sales. This one is below the reference line for sales and below the reference line for profit. This one is what? Less profit and less sales. This one is what? Above the reference line for what? Reference line of profit. More profit, but what? Less sales. So you can change. Maybe you want to use 50,000 for sales. You can just click on it and it will change. Boom. So that's how to do dynamic line for scatter plot. But now, as you're saying, it's still very hard to know because you just have to look at it very well to know which one fall into this, which one fall into this. That's where you are going to use. You have to use color to color. So you have to have 4 distinct color. If it is this, it is this. If it is this, it is this. That's when you have to use another calculated field. So I've done calculation already. So you talked about the calculation. You talked about calculated field in the next class. So now this is just the calculation. So maybe now maybe let me just rewrite it. Let me just rewrite it so that it will be clear. So now, if your sum of sales, your sales, right? If your sales is less than or equal to less than or equal to your parameter sales, that is this one, 50,000, right? And we call this thing logical function. And your sum of profits, right, is what? Less than or equal to what? 10,000, right? Which is this parameter. You can just drag it here. Then it should be what? Less than or equals to, that would be what? More, let's use less than. This is less than. Let's use less than or equals to. Okay, let's use this. Okay, so that would be what? Less what? Less profit and what? Less sales. Right? So let's just copy this thing. Let's just copy it. Let's just copy it. Because we have 4 conditions, right? So now after if, that be what? Else if. So just paste this one and change this thing. Greater than or less, that will be what? More sales and less profit. Right? Just change this one. Right? Just else if again, because we are going to for else if again and paste it. And this one will be more sales and the more profits. So that will be more profits, more sales. Okay, this should be more. And so the fourth one, you don't need to write the fourth condition. The fourth condition is it should be what? Less profits, less sales, and more profits. Right? So let me just copy this one here. The next one will be else. Paste it here. That'll be more, that'll be what? The next one will be less sales, less profits, more profits, sales. The next one will be what? More sales, and less profit. I think so. So let's just write it here. And let's end. And press OK. And put this one to color. So now we have our 4 colors. You see now we have 3 colors here because we don't have anything here. So let's try to move this one to this place, maybe a 150. And see the magic. And press enter. Yeah, you see now. We have 4 colors now. So this is just the calculation. You can just, when you are practicing, just try to write it on your own and stuff like that. So it's practice make perfect. So it might not make sense now, but as you are writing more calculations, it will surely make sense.
So you have a question, says, why do you keep using else if?
Else if it's just like, okay, if this condition is not met, then consider this one. If this one is not met, consider this. If this one, if you have like, maybe you have like 5 conditions that you want to write, you have to use else if until you are done with the conditions. So if you are, that's so that in the next class we talk about calculative when you're using logical. You have if and else statement. If you have 2 conditions, you have to use if this is this, else this. But if you have 3, that will be if, else if, and else. That's it. And anytime you want to write string, you have to put it into what? In 2 double quotes. So that's why. Okay, hope I answered that. So that's it. So now let's talk about dual axis and combined axis. You see this? You see, these are line chart that we have been building. You see another one now. So now let's talk about dual axis, because these dual axis and combined axis, if you can master it, you will have the ability to build as many charts as possible on your own. Yeah, so now let's build this dual axis and combined axis. You know that this thing is a combination of what? Line chart and area chart, but it's still the same thing. But it just makes this thing compare this line chart to this rather. This one is more good looking compared to the other line chart. So now let's build this again. So now we want to build our sales over time, right? You can use quantity, you can use profit. You understand? I'm just using sales. So sales over time, the order dates, and the continuous one, because I don't want this. Yeah, this is it now. Now, if you want to build your dual axis, you have to duplicate these measures here and put it here. So you can either bring it from here and put it here. Okay, now, or you hold your control to duplicate like this. You see now, you have what? 2 line charts. Look at this. Look at this place. Please keep your eyes here. This place. And see here now, I have only one single max card, right? So let me just do that. You see now, I have 2 max cards. Sales 1, sales 2. And when we were doing how to build basic chart in Tableau, that was yesterday. John said that you can build as many chart as possible in Tableau. It just depends on your what? On your how you can your creativity. So that's it. And we're going to build a lot of charts compared to our show me chart, compared to all these ones, using the dual axis and combined axis stuff. So now you see now we have 2 mask cards now, which means that you have another mask card that is on. This all means that any change that is here that you did here will affect these 2 lines. But for this one, anything that you did here will affect this one. It won't affect this one. Anything that you did here will affect this one. It won't affect this one. That's just the meaning of this mask card. So now let's do that. You can let's change this one to what? Now, so now to do a dual axis, You have to click on this drop down arrow here. You see something like draw axis here. Click on it. It's like putting the same thing, putting two of them on the same axis. That's what it means as draw axis. Putting two things on the same axis. So and always note, anytime you draw axis, always synchronize. So just right click on this one and synchronize. So that's it. So now let's make one area chart. Let's make one line chart. Let's make this one area chart. You see? And let's make this one line chart. This one is line chart automatically. So you can reduce the size. You see? Reduce the size of this one. And our line chart is reducing. Let's change the color of our line chart to this. You see now? And this one is the area chart is not affected. Let's change the color of this one to orange also. You see now? And let's reduce this opacity here. You see what this looks like. So that's it. That is our area chart and line chart combined. But this one is more good looking compared to the others area chart that we have been seeing. So that's how to use draw axis to improve your area chart or your line chart. So now you see this one now. You can plot profit and sales on the same axis using draw axis. The draw axis functionality. Maybe you want to compare. Maybe you want to compare your profit and your sales. Like, okay, you want to compare your profit and your sales based on months, also on the same axis. How can you do that? So let's do that. Let me just clean this and put my months here, other dates here, and put my months here, and put my sales here. Yep. So now we want to compare sales and profit, right? Just put your profit here also. You know that it's very hard to compare two lines like this because they're not on the same axis. It's very hard to compare both of them. So you can just click on this drop down and draw axis. I said earlier, always synchronize. You see, this one is 80,000 and this one is 120,000. You know that it doesn't make sense for 18,000 should be more. This one is, but this okay. Sales is 188, 118, and profit is this. For this one now, profit is 17,000 and your sales here is what? 91,000. It doesn't make sense for 70,000 should be what? More than 97,000. That's why you need to what? Synchronize your axis. Just right click on this axis here and synchronize. So you see now you have colors, each color. You can change the color. So you see you have these measure names here. You can just remove it. You don't need it. You can just remove it here. So then you can change the color for profit to black, anything. You can change the color for this one to what? To orange. So that's it. Let's go to the next one. I have to move fast now.
Yeah. You have about 5 minutes left, Chris.
Yeah. So now we have another one, lollipop chart. You see, something like this is not here. It's not even here. So that's it. And this one is like a bar chart also. It's like a bar chart, but sometimes you might want to deviate from your regular bar chart. I'm like, okay, give your users another chart type. So now let's view this in Tableau using draw axis and combine axis, using draw axis. So now you want to just do your subcategory by sales, right? And you don't want to use your bar chart, and you want to use another chart entirely. Let's do that. Put your subcategory to this place and put your sales here, right? You have this, right? So now just duplicate this, right? You have this one, you have this one. Draw axis it normally, right? So let me show my header. Yeah. So then synchronize. Yeah. Now we have circles normally. So now change this one to what? To bar chart, right? Reduce the size to the lowest. You see now, you can change this color to maybe black. You see now, this is the lollipop chart. Combination of what? Of circle and what? And bar chart. So that the bar chart is just very slim. So you can change this one to any, so maybe you want to square, just based on what you want. You can even put image here based on what you want. So that's it. So let's do this. Donut chart. As you can see now, you can't find donut chart here. You can't find a donut chart, and you're like, okay, you want to plot a donut chart, really bad. You can do that in Tableau. So let's do this. So I'll be fast. So if you have any question, I can just answer it after the class. So now let's do our donut chart. Donut chart is just like a pie chart, right? So now let's get our pie chart first. You want to use your category, you want to use your segment by sales. You want to use which segment has the highest sales. Click on segment, hold your control and click your sales, right? And check your pie chart. That's it, right? So just once you double click here, use something like this. Double click, use something like this. Double click and write something like min of 0. Just write it. You see something like this? Now just duplicate it like this. You have 2 pie charts, the same thing, right? So now you have min of 0 for this one. You have min of 0 for this second one, right? So now remove everything that is here. Remove it. Just remove it. Right? So now drag this, like putting this one on top the second one. Very simple. Just drag this it. Yeah, you see, synchronize it. So now increase the size of the second one that has the color. Increase it normally. You see now, and change the color of this one to white. That's it. That's the donut chart. So you can put your segment to label here, and you can put your sales to label also. That's the donut chart. Now I said that it just depends on your creativity. So as we are learning, you'll be learning how to build a lot of charts on your own. So let me just, okay. Let me just talk about combined axes. You see, we have done this one before, profit and sales. So now to do combined axes, GB is Michael here. Is he
Yes,
here?
it is. We're expecting you to round up now, so
Okay.
I can ask you like 2 questions. So one question that they have is, can one use more than 2 variables for the dual axis, e.g., sales, profit, and maybe cost?
Okay. Yeah, for dual axis, you have to use two measures only. So that's what I want to talk about. Where we are going to be using maybe. We are using what? We are using quantity, we are using profit, we are using sales on the same axis. 3-line charts, different measures. So that's the power of combined axis and dual axis together at the same time. So let me just talk about that really quick. So now let's just do combined axis. Let's do our order date, and let's click on month here, and let's put in our sales here. Yeah. So now we want to plot the profit, we want to plot the sales and profit on the same axis. We can use dual axis also. So now take your profits and drag it here. You see something like blue, 2 green here. You see, put it there. That's it. So profit is blue, sales is orange normally. So now you want to put in what? Your quantity inside this place also, inside this graph. How are you going to do that? And you can't combine 3. You can't, okay, you can combine 3. I don't know. I've not tried it before. So you can combine this one also. Yeah, that's 3. You can combine this one as many as possible. I think so. Yeah, that's 4. Yeah. So you can just combine axes as you see now, as you are combining them, you're having what? 4 measures. You see, you can be combining them as many, and you can remove them just like this. You can combine it again. So now let's use our dual axis something. So we have done sales and profits. Now put your quantity here and just do your dual axis and synchronize. So that's it. That's in Tableau. There is a lot of ways to do a lot of things. So I might have a method. Jibin have another method. Mike have another method, and we still get the same thing. So it just depends on how you approach things. So that's it. So if I was the one, if I want to do this 3 things, I have to use. I will use this one, but you can still combine as many axes as possible. Yeah, also. So you can, but in combined axes, you don't have the privilege to what? You don't have the privilege to change this mask card. So let's do this one now. No, this one is combined axis now. I can't, once I change this one to bar, both of them will change at the same time. But in dual axis, you can change one and leave one like this. Like this one now. I have this as a dual axis, I have this as combined axis. I want to change this one to a bar chart now. Yeah, you see, this is my bar chart now. And this one just remain untouched. So that is the advantage of dual axis over what? Combined axis. So that's why people use dual axis a lot, because we have a lot of control. We have control over it compared to combined axis.
All right, great, fantastic. Idris, you'll be rounding up by now. If you have any questions, I think we have just one more question. How do we get the steps to do the other charts? We won't be able to illustrate because of time. So Idris, are you going to have your workbook contain the other charts so people can check it out when they have access to it?
No problem. I have something like this. I want to. So I've just do a short video on how to do something like this and send it with the recording. Just look forward to that.
Yeah. So all right, everyone.
And
okay.
This one also, yeah. So I'll just do a short video on this and send it with the recording.
Michael, so are you ready, or should we give Idris like 5 minutes more to round up?
Yeah, Idris could just round the session up.
Okay. Idris, you have like till 6:40 to round up if you have anything to touch.
Okay. So now let's talk about this. This is another what? This is another bar chart entirely. It's a bar chart, but this is another bar chart entirely. The power of combined axis and dual axis together. Let's do that now. So let's do that now. So now we want to do a bar chart of subcategory by sales. Subcategory. What's this? What's going on? So let me just open another sheet. Yep. So subcategory and sales. And I want to do normally this is what I want, but I don't want the regular bar chart. I want to stand a bar chart. So now to do that, just as I said earlier, as I did the mean of 1 or mean of 0, just write your average of 0. You have something like this. So just drag it again here and place it as a combined axis like this. You have something like this. Right? So now you have measure values, you have average of 0, because I duplicated this and put it here in this and combined it. So this one is combined axis and this one is another axis entirely, you see. So then I can draw axis it. So once I draw axis it and synchronize it, everything is coming up. So which means that I want this one to be a bar chart. Yep. And I don't want this one to be 0 like this. I want this one to be a Gantt bar. You can just click on this one and click on this, something like this. So I don't want to see anything here. You can just right click and show the header like this. Right? So now I want my label to be here, right? And this one is for the average of 0, right? So which means you can just do something like this. You can remove all this one here from this color so that you can change the color individually. Yeah. So now I want my label to be here for this one. You see, this one is for Gantt bar. Once you click on here, this one will switch to bar. You see now, once you click on this one, you switch to Gantt bar. So now my subcategory to be on label and my sales also to be on label. So now let's put this one here. And let's just use part 2, something like that. So now I can reduce the size of this one so that it won't be what? Visible to the eye. So now let me just hide all this one because I don't need it. Right click and hide it. So let me just clean up my views of this one. So just go to formatting, click on border, and make sure you off all this one to none, and click on line here, click on row here, column, and we talk about formatting. So I'm just cleaning the view. So now this one, let me just change the color to white and change this one to like something like this. So yeah, so this is it. This is the bar chart, entire view. So this is it. This is what you're looking forward to. So now let's quickly talk about forecasting. Let's talk about forecasting. I'll just brush through that. Yeah. Now, normally, if you want to forecast something, you have to forecast if you have, what's it called? Dates variable. You can't forecast. Maybe you have subcategory by sales and you want to forecast the sales. It's not possible. You have to forecast based on what? Based on dates. It's like you have 4 years data and you want to forecast the next 1 year data. Maybe this 2023, I'm going to forecast 2024 sales. You see, based on this past data. How are we going to do that? Let's just do that really quick. So sales, yeah, our order dates, yeah, and this again. So now what forecast? So click on this magnetic pane, you see something like forecast here. Just drag it here, and you will have it. That's it. So you can still do some things here. By right click, just click on it. You can see something like edit. So you can edit, and maybe you want to do 2 years. You can do 2 years. You can do 3 years. You can do 4 years. You can do 5 years. But normally, it won't make sense you predicting 2 years in advance. But you predicting a year in advance will give you more accuracy compared to you predicting 2 years in advance. So just pick 1 year, and that's it. You see this one, show the prediction interval. Let me just uncheck it and see what happens. Once you check it again, this one is just like giving you the upper and the lower, but that is, this is the highest and this is the lowest that the sales might go. You understand? So this is what the prediction, but this is the confidence level. Like this is the highest and this is the lowest that might the prediction might go and stuff like that. So that is just on how to do the prediction. So after this class, I will send materials on where you can read more about forecasting and other stuff. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Idris. That was really, really amazing. I'm sure we learned a lot. I can see so many positive responses from people in the webinar chats. That was really, really good. Really amazing. Thank you for your session. I'm sure we all are not tired. We have a few minutes to go, and we would very much love Michael to be able to finish what he started. Even though he's working at MTN, but MTN is not nice to him. What an irony. We would love very well for Michael to finish his session. And Michael, you have the stage. Idris, you can stop sharing, and let's see if Michael could be able to carry on from where he stopped. Yeah, Michael. Let us know if you can hear us. The MTN man.
Yeah, I can share my screen now. I think Idris is going to have to stop sharing before I can share my screen.
Oh, Idris has stopped sharing.
So right, guys, I'm very sorry. It still says I can't share.
Okay. Yeah, you can keep. Let me see what the problem is.
Can I start?
Sorry.
Okay.
No. That would be some settings. Sorry. Oh my God. Yes, you should be able
I think
to.
I can.
All right, great.
All right, I'm very sorry. I have a serious problem trying to, work my internet. I don't really know what the problem is. It's one of those things control over. So what we're doing, right? I was talking about how you can use joins in Tableau, right? And like I mentioned, in the course at the physical layer, we have the physical layer, we have the logic layer, right? So join occurs at physical layer, and if you want to access the physical layer, GB Bolan.
Yes, Michael Officer.
Can you hear me? Yeah, just in case, this does not work today, we could actually reschedule. Because I have control over my internet. That's really, really frustrates my effort. Just in case it doesn't work today, we just reschedule.
Yeah.
So are we on?
Michael, I think it's really terrible. I think we might have to go with the reschedule.
Yeah.
We could just reschedule. Yeah.
Maybe
Sorry, guys. So Michael, if you could go ahead after like during this week and record the remaining parts, and then we could share it like to everyone. So you could record it in your own
no problem.
in your own free time, and then we'll go ahead to share with everyone so they can just continue. They can continue for wherever you stopped.
All
like
right, that's fine. I could as well start from the beginning.
Yes,
I could
yes.
as well start from the beginning. So I just make everything as a stretch then.
Yeah. We could do that.
Because I mean, these are things you just have no control over.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Just make sure like when you get
All
to
right, thank you very much, guys.
you are screaming and saying MTNY. All right, thank you so much, Michael. It's a pity we can't so everyone, it's a pity we can't have Michael conclude his parts. I think we have about 16 minutes left. I think does Idris want to go again, or we should just like
no, maybe if you have any question, you can just ask.
Okay, yes, okay, let's do that then. Yes, let's do that then. So thank you so much, Michael. Like I said, it's a shame that we couldn't complete it, but just everyone should just be very aware that we'll be able to send you the recording. I'm sure Michael will be very much happy to do it.
And guys, I'm very sorry. Can I just give me a second? I shared my handle earlier. Sorry, I shared my my social media handles earlier. So if any questions you have, you could actually reach out to me on any of those platforms. I mean, I will always be there to answer your question.
Yeah. Okay.
Anytime, any day. Thank you.
Yeah,
guys.
if you could just put it in the chat one more time, so they can take a note of that, so everyone can. Okay. All right. Great. So yes, really great class today. Sorry that we couldn't complete it as much as we hoped to, but we have some few minutes left, and if you've been following along, I'm sure like you would have some questions, either from this class or from the one of yesterday. If you do, please, you can raise a hand to ask. I would be granting audience to few people before the end of this class. So you could share your thoughts and grievances if there is. I hope like that should be as little as possible. But would like to hear you guys. Would like to hear you guys talk. If you are feeling like you want to, please just raise your hand, and I'll give you the floor so you can communicate whatever it is. Yes.
Hello everyone.
Hi.
Yeah, my name is Amaka, and I've been following the classes, and I want to say thank you first of all to all the speakers and instructors. We didn't pay for the classes, and you guys actually found time to like teach us and put us through Tableau. I paid for so many classes and I know how much it costs and all. So fast forward to everything. I also wanted to say shout out to Michael. I've been following him judiciously, LinkedIn, everywhere, Tableau as well. And I wanted to know, these classes are more of like introductory classes to Tableau. And as some of us, I've worked with Tableau like for 6 months, and I have like some dashboards I've built. So most of the things that are being taught here, I'm already conversant with them. So I'm more of taking the classes because I have the desktop specialist exam coming up. But then again, I wanted to know, is there can you guys make time to teach us more advanced visuals on Tableau? There's some of Michael's works I've tried to like recreate. I've used Figma, but I still don't know most of the tools to use and the techniques as well. So after these classes, I know we're not really paying, and I know it's kind of strenuous, but if you guys could teach us more advanced visuals on Tableau, I would really appreciate.
Okay. Yeah, great. Thank you. I'll let Idris answer that question quickly.
Okay. The thing is just like, okay, after this section, after this class or everything will be uploaded onto YouTube. And as we are going before the end of the year, we'll be uploading more videos, which you can easily like go there. At least we have everyone's email. Anytime we upload a video onto that YouTube channel, you will receive email so that you will start learning more. So that it's not that after this thing, we are not leaving everyone behind. We are still teaching more, but it's not just like this again.
Yeah, thank you so much, Idris. So I think what Idris is trying to say in the entirety of it is, at the end of this, we are not dropping everyone. Like, it's not a sorry, thank you guys for the time. Goodbye. May we never meet again. It's not going to be like that. There are plans for more. There are going to be more meetups, probably not as frequent as we have now. Could be way, way less, reduced to probably once a month or whatever it is going to be. That's in the works. No particular description to that as of the moment, but just to be certain that with due time, more advanced stuff will be taught. We'd have more speakers or more people joining from all around the world, data farm and everyone. So it's an exciting time to come. This is just the beginning, and really nice. We are looking towards forward into the future, but a step at a time. And we are going to walk the entire marathon together, basically. Thank you so much, Amaka, for your question. If you do have another question and you want to raise your hand to talk, please, you can. We still have a few minutes. Just raise your hand and then I will grant you the audience to ask a question. I'm expecting people to have questions one way or the other. And for the frequent question regarding recordings, of course, yes, we're going to allow you guys. But Judith, yes, you should be able to talk. Judith, you're on mute. Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Well, thank you everyone for the class. It's been amazing so far. I thought I knew Tableau, but I'm getting to know that I did not know nothing.